U.S. forces have struck a weapons facility warehouse in Syria.
Well, this came just hours after Iranian-backed militias or militants launched their 42nd attack on U.S. bases over there since October 17th.
And our people are getting hurt. This includes an American Reaper drone that was shot down yesterday, cost millions. It happened over Yemen. We looks like we were in their airspace, and that was taken down by a drone, too. Let's bring in retired Army General Anthony Tata. Great to see you, General. Your thoughts about our second retaliation after a total of 42 attacks since October 7th?
Yeah, Brian, so these are the lowest threshold flexible deterrent options that DoD has. You can go after equipment and ammo in Syria. You can go after people, Shia militia groups in Syria. Next up would be Shia militia groups in Iraq. Next up would be directly confronting Iran, who is behind all of this. And so it's the lowest threshold possible, and there's no messaging to Iran matching the strikes that are going in on the equipment.
Weak is the message.
It's weak, right? So in my view, it's weak, having been the policy guy in DoD.
Right. And General, I was reading that apparently we were watching the facility that we were going to hit for hours, and we saw people coming and going, and then it seems like everybody left. So, you know, apparently there was a worry that they would kill somebody, you know, connected to the Revolutionary Guard or a militia group, and that would inflame them more. But you got to figure they knew
not the right footage, by the way. That wasn't.
They had to know we were coming.
Right, and so by watching it for so long and allowing people to leave, it's a very clear intention that we didn't want to kill anybody. We just wanted to damage the equipment. So it's a demonstration of power, which is
symbolic.
It's symbolic, and it's meaningless if it's not matched with an escalation of these flexible deterrent options.
General, you heard Donald Trump at the rally down in Florida. He said Ukraine never would have happened if he were in office. Would that have happened if he were in office? What about the Afghanistan withdrawal? Would either one of those happen?
Aidsley, it didn't happen when Trump was president. And he, you know, right before that, it had happened in Crimea with Obama, as was referenced earlier, and nothing was done, blankets and MREs, right? And then immediately after the president leaves office, it happens again. So one could conclude that the Trump policies were an effective deterrent against Russian aggression in that region. And likewise with Afghanistan, we had a really good plan to coalesce on Bagram, which is the most protected base in the area, not on Kabul, which is the least protected airfield in the area.
And Trump never would have allowed, his own ego would not have let him allow Kabul to fall in 9 minutes or in so many days and be just take an airport, hold an airport, and allow us to blow up. The whole scenario wouldn't have been feasible. But I got to ask you about what happened yesterday. These attacks are not going to stop from what you saw. They called themselves a resistance, combined resistance. Iran is meeting with the heads of these militias, meeting with Hezbollah and Hamas. What do you think they're thinking? What is their strategy? Because they're daring us to be tougher. Should we?
Well, so the first thing we should do is increase domestic oil and energy production, and that region of the world becomes far less important to us.
Biden won't do that. Shut down the pipelines day one.
Exactly. That's my point, is that the Trump-era oil production policies decrease the relevance, plus the Abraham Accords increase the cooperation.
No, I'm talking about the attacks right now.
No, but it's all relevant, Brian, because what Iran is trying to do is disrupt the unity that was happening, the momentum, and then they know that we're dependent upon Venezuela and Iraq and Saudi and even Iran for oil, and so they just want to continue to be a needle in our side, a thorn in our side there, and provoke us into doing something irrational. From their perspective, and that's what their end state is here, is just to continue to foment. And this was, you know, the whole Iran nuclear deal had no cessation of support for the Shia militia groups throughout the region. And so that, to me, we've got to have a diplomatic piece here, which has really been anemic in engaging Iran. And for some reason, this administration does not want to.
Talking to Iran.
We should be talking to Iran and talking at Iran, not with Iran, and telling them that you got to stop this throughout the region, or we're going to reimpose sanctions. We've got to get tougher with Iran, and for some reason, this administration doesn't want to do it.
Well, yesterday was payback day. General, thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks, team.
Thank you for your service.
It was not much of a payback.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.